Hello, beautiful kids. How are you doing? Good to be in your view again. Welcome to Mrs. Agistella's Bible Club Story class. And today I'll be telling you a very interesting story about Daniel in the lion's den. A man called Daniel who was surrounded by lions. So let's find out what happened. Long time ago, in the city or in a country called the Kingdom of Medes and Persians, there lived a king whose name was Darius. Darius was the king of the kingdom of the Medes and the Persians, and he was a great king. And then he put some princesses in charge of the various provinces that were in that kingdom. One of those princes was Daniel. Daniel was put in charge of a province, and he was a good man. He was a diligent man. He always does the right thing at the right time. Most importantly, Daniel always prayed to God. He always put God first. And so, there were other princesses, but they were very wicked princesses. They were not good men. They were jealous of Daniel. And they said, Daniel is always doing the right thing. I think the king likes him. What can we do to make sure that Daniel gets into trouble and the king will punish him? And they thought and said, we cannot find anything against Daniel except against his God. So let us scheme, let us think about something we can do that will make Daniel default. And they know that the only thing they can do to Daniel that he will not even do is when it has to do with the things that has to do with his God. Because he feared God, he honored God, and he put God first above every other thing. And so they thought, Daniel loves to pray to his God. Let us form something that will make Daniel not to pray to his God, which is not possible anyway, but then it will get him into trouble. And so they went to the king, King Darius, and said, oh king, live forever. Pass a decree that nobody will pray for some number of days only to you, king. Nobody will pray to their gods, only to you. And so the king didn't think properly about it. He didn't feel anything wrong in it. He loved honor, and he said, okay. He passed it into decree. And the punishment for that defaulting is you will be thrown in the lion's den. And so the king signed it. And so Daniel, who was always used to doing the right thing, always used to praying to his God, regardless of the decree, opened his window and began to pray to his God. And so those wicked men saw him and said, Daniel is praying to his God. Aha, we caught him. They ran and told the king, oh king, you made a decree that nobody should pray to any other God but you. There is a man, he is defaulting. And the king said, who is that man? He says, Daniel. The king thought and said, oh my Daniel, that good and faithful servant. His hands were tied. He felt so sad. But then the decree had to be passed to law. And so he commanded that Daniel be thrown into the lion's den. And he said, Daniel, if you are truly a just servant, I hope and I pray that your God delivers you. And so they threw Daniel into the lion's den. The king could not sleep all through the night. He was restless. First thing in the morning, he ran to the den. Daniel, are you still there? Was your God able to deliver you from the den of the lion? And Daniel said, oh king, live forever. My God, whom I serve, found innocence in me, and he was able to deliver me from the den of the lions. The king was so happy, and he commanded them to bring Daniel out of the den of the lion and throw those wicked men, wicked princes and their families into the lion's den. When they threw them, the lion ate them up, licked up their bone, and none of them survived. What a beautiful story with a happy ending. What is it teaching us? That as long as we are doing the things that are right before God, as long as we put God first, God is able, all powerful, all wonderful to deliver us in the time of trouble. Just like Daniel. Daniel was in a trouble case because of his God, and God delivered him. So it is with us at home, no matter the situation it is. If it means us doing the wrong thing against our God, it's not worth it. We must be bold in these times that we're in to say, my God will deliver you. And like Daniel, when we put our trust in God and we do what is right before God, He will deliver us. That is the beautiful story of Daniel in the lion's den. 2 things we learn. We must always be faithful to God and put Him first. That is the first and important lesson we must learn from this story. We must be good, we must be kind, we must not seek the heart of others, but above all, we must learn to put God first. When you put God first, God steps in for you. God stands in for you. God delivers you in the time of trouble. I have this favorite psalm that I love so much, Psalm 23. It says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for His name's sake. He said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Because God is with me, His rod and His staff, He said, they comfort me. He said, the Lord prepares a table before me in the presence of those who hate me, my enemies. He anoints my head with oil and my cup will run over. He says, surely goodness and mercy will follow me and my household all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord. That's Psalm 23. Learn it, and God will use that psalm to deliver you in the time of trouble. Till I come your way next time, be good. Remember to put God first and to be faithful to Him. Bye-bye, and have a blessed day. Cheers.